How did we go from having black communities all over this country, I mean flourishing black communities all over this country, to now we have, to replace them, ghettos and hoods? It was all a process, but very much intentional. Because you see, between redlining, because you see, when racist people burned and bombed and flooded our black communities, they made sure that once they did that, we had nowhere to go and no help to seek. And if we did have somewhere to go, they had to make sure that it was under complete control. By who? I think you can imagine. Because you see, shortly after the Civil War, when black people were like building our communities, white people were moving hastily to fill political positions and positions in legislation. Why is that so hard to say? I don't fucking know. And they weren't doing that for no reason. Now, we all know the KKK popped up shortly after the Civil War, and it was typically a bunch of Civil War veterans that just got their asses whooped. They were upset. But that mindset of hating black people didn't just come from nowhere. I mean, we have 400 years of slavery to account for. So when the government made it illegal to be affiliated with the KKK, they decided, okay, we don't really need the KKK anymore, because now we are police officers, we are lawmakers, we are legislators, we are everything that would control a city or community, even a state. And if we're being real, they controlled this country. And with the endorsements from the president, whether that be President Monroe, President Johnson, whomever, these racist white people had like full control and authority to do anything they wanted. So like I said, black people created beautiful communities, beautiful homes, businesses, schools. We did that. But by the first or second census in these black communities, they were being hit with so much bullshit. Cities across the country being bombed, being destroyed, while simultaneously laws being passed making it illegal to be homeless or making it illegal to be unemployed. And in some cases, say the land didn't get bombed or flooded or set on fire, a lot of times we would have to sell our land for pennies just to make a profit, just to find a way to make money. So once it's time to resettle, we at least have $5 in our pocket. And there goes our black wealth. They targeted our wealth by making it, first of all, hard to own land and hard to keep land. And see, that wasn't the only way they targeted our finances. See, there were a lot of covenants made to make sure that white businesses don't allow black business owners to travel through their cities to get supplies or to get products to sell, right? There were a lot of other covenants as far as railroad systems, not allowing them to pass through white cities. So there were a lot of different ways that they affected our businesses and our money. And in this stupid ass country of America, we all know the best way to have a great foundation for your community is definitely money. Mind you, a lot of this was not done on just a civilian level. This was also done by politicians. Now, peep how I'm talking about America's ghettos, and I started shortly after the Civil War, because that is how long they've been planning this shit, executing shit. I mean, they got a great return on their investment. But anyway, real quick, y'all, I have a nonprofit dedicated to keeping black history that you are learning right now in our schools. It is going to start as a 2-hour program after school, starting in high schools, taught by HBCU students that major in African American studies, or they just find themselves very fascinated with African American history, black history. But if you want to help donate, that's really what I need. If you know any videographers here in Atlanta, I'd love to work with them. But yeah, donate using the link in my bio. But let's get back into it. I really want to get back into those agreements and covenants that were created between lawmakers, like local lawmakers and the planter class, right? Because the planter class, they kind of they had a large hand in the economy. At this time, the only people that was paying taxes were planters. And the only people that had enough power to actually be put in these positions of becoming lawmakers and becoming sheriffs and all these different positions were the planters, right? So they had a lot of say. They had a lot of authority. And mind you, their main goal after the Civil War was to find a way to get their slaves back, or at least to make as much money as possible. So when it comes to the cases of white communities not allowing black people to buy their products, to sell, right? Or to build a railroad through their cities, these were all intentional, because now you have black people that have to spend more money to get products, charging their customers more money when their customers already don't make enough money. Not to mention, say you did work for a planter at this time. It's post-Civil War, so you're not necessarily a slave, but you are. And you're making pennies. Every week you're making 5 fucking pennies, right? How are you supposed to gain wealth with that? This is going to be the end of part 1. Part 2 coming soon. I didn't know this was going to be a part series, but it's probably going to be pretty long. But yeah, if you're new here, give me a follow. I teach black history, and please donate what you can to my nonprofit, or, just support. Share this page, share the page, share the video, whatever. Thank you.